Greetings, viewers. This is Michael Wright on the campus of the University of Oklahoma, and what you are seeing is loud, ugly, booming noise from the fireworks show. David Boren, the president of the University of Oklahoma, likes to have noise. He loves noise. He derives a sensual pleasure from noise. This is actually the end of the commencement exercises for May of 2008. Can you believe that? A fireworks show at the end of a commencement exercise. And it's very loud. And there are students inside that stadium right now who have to hear this noise. And it can be heard for a long ways, a long distance away from the stadium. But never mind. David Boren thinks he's the most important man in town. He wants everybody to pay attention to him. And the campus has become very noisy in the time in which Boren has been president. It's no longer a quiet oasis for serious scholars to study. No, it is a noise carnival. David Boren, you might recall, was a United States Senator from Oklahoma until 1994, when he resigned before his third term was completed. He resigned because he was being outed as queer in the gay press and accused of sexually harassing his male employees. But this news never made it to the mainstream press. They concealed it. Boren was able to manipulate the OU regents into making him the president of OU in 1994, and he and his corrupt gang of henchmen have been cavorting like jackasses ever since. They've turned it into a party atmosphere. Tuition next fall is going to be almost 4 times as high as it was when Boren arrived. And this fireworks show is a good example of what the University of Oklahoma has become during his time. That was a terribly loud boom. That had to reach 120 to 130 decibels at least, enough to impair hearing in a few seconds. I'm going to walk a further distance away from the noise in order to protect my own hearing. So I'm going to back up a bit. Norman has a noise control ordinance, and the stadium and much of the OU campus is within the city limits of Norman. But David Boren acts like he's above the law. He acts like a monarch. The local establishment lets him get away with it. In fact, he is a criminal and deserves to be arrested. Hearing impairment has, for a couple of decades at least, been America's most prevalent chronic illness. Much of it is caused by excessive noise, but there has been no education about this on the OU campus. Some of these graduates will be leaving the stadium tonight with fewer hearing hair cells than they had at the time they entered. But David Boren doesn't care. He loves noise, he loves to call attention to himself, and he dominates the community with noise. It doesn't matter if the rest of the community would like to have a quiet evening. What matters is what David Boren wants. Fellow Oklahomans, I encourage you to join me. Now it's like Baghdad. Like Baghdad on the OU campus. I encourage you to join me in demanding that David Boren and his corrupt gang of henchmen be fired from OU and uprooted like so many rotten people. This is Michael Wright, signing off.